for me to be able to do this, like you mentioned kind of DJ Khaled and living like, it's like living like rappers and athletes are the only ways that, as Black people, we see people be rich, right? Like you're seeing a little bit more now, right?
Yeah.
Podcasting, right? But like, that's what it was for me. It was just like, how do I help people? How do I put the message out? And then I'm not good at putting the message out, so I pay my daughter to do it now, right? But, I just got to make the content now, but it's like, that's what it was about. I see people and I'm just like, man, like, is this woman or man really meant to just work at Target? And like, we need Target workers, right? But I don't want them to look like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, I know people can be better. So that's, like I said,
maybe somewhere different than Target. I don't want to bring that up.
Fair point. Fair point.
Oh, right. Not the red store.
Yeah,
Costco.
fair point. Well, I don't want them working at Target. So
yeah.
hopefully that aligns. But yeah, like that's what it was, right? It was just like, how can I help people understand that there is so much more out there? Because the other thing that motivated me was that at Georgia Tech, right, there's not a lot of people that look like us in grad school programs. And those people were nonstop persistent on me helping them get in. And like, I've gotten so many of them in, right? Because they did the work. They never stopped. They would just hit me up nonstop. I go to the events, they hit me up. I go to, I do every year, I would go and like help them with their elevator pitches and, how to talk to the interviewers, how to be concise and to the point and look at their resumes. I was doing all that stuff anyway, right? So I'm like, why am I helping them? I'm okay with it. Like, I love Georgia Tech, right? But I want to help everybody, right? And so this was kind of the avenue. So once I was kind of exposed to it, I was like, all right, let me just kind of try and run with it.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because you have your platform now, Big Tech Money, where you have a platform that helps people do that. Can you like explain like the whole process and like what that looks like?
Yeah, the Big Tech Money is a double entendre, if you will, right? Because it's like my path was obviously the big tech companies, right? And then obviously the tech money, right? And so I just use it to kind of like what I've tasked my daughter with, right? My social media manager with is I always want to put out some sort of news, which, because, I kind of pay attention. Like the news stories actually do really good because it's educational and informative, right? The AI brown nosing thing we talked about, that was like something I would put out. Then I also realized, and I have to get back to this one, was the job postings. Because you look at them job postings and it'll be like, it just says account executive, $200 and something thousand, based here, remote, right? And then people think like, oh, I want that job. But I got to kind of explain like, well, that's this level, you probably need this much experience. So I try and do like a simple breakdown. So I got to get back into those. But also like, now my new thing is the AI tutor, right? So I'm talk about that just nonstop because I've taken all of my experience, right? I say everything relevant from grad school. I've taken that, all the, technical learnings like cloud or CRM, right? As they apply to all these different companies, like cloud works for GCP, Google Cloud Platform, AWS, Amazon Web Services. I got to stop with the, and then like Azure, for example. CRM is like Microsoft Dynamics and Salesforce, right? So I teach the technologies because it drives me crazy when people are like, yeah, I mean, I want to sell and I want to do what you do, but I'm not real technical. And it's like, all right, well, I don't have time for you, right? Because it's just like, you're telling me you're not going to put any effort in, you know what I mean? So I put, that stuff in, and then I was like, all right, well, how do I solve the problems? Like you talk about using the platform. I'm like, main thing I see, everybody I talk to, they give me their resume and I'm just like, this is awful, right? And I actually, when people pay me for an hour, I will not do your resume on the call because I think that's like me stealing your money, right? I always tell them like, let me look at your resume before, I'll give you some feedback, and then it'll be ready so that we can really, spend the hour on like necessary, how to get you from where you are to where you want to be, right? Because If I was a crook, I'd just be like, yeah, all right, well, I'm gonna fix your resume for 38 minutes and then we talk about nothing for 22. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like I said, with that tutor, it'll do like unlimited rewrites. So once you put your first one in, right, it has like a format that I kind of use and, know that works well from being a hiring manager and all that stuff. So we use that format and it will do unlimited rewrites